right. Nick Vuci interview today. Soon. Let's see. I should have done this earlier. Let's see. It's probably good, I guess. We'll figure it out. Should I just call him? It is 10. Alright, I don't know if the audio is gonna be working good or not. Hopefully. Your left ear. Yeah, unfortunately with Discord it was not working with my microphone. So I don't know if there's a way to fix this. Hey, variable, what's up? Hey, Delta Quartz, what is up? Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to fix this. I think we're gonna have to just live with the mono audio, unfortunately. Alright. Here, I'm gonna just... Where'd I put that window? I'm just gonna give him a call, because it is that time. I meant to start a little earlier actually, but I just laid around in bed. I didn't get any sleep last night. I had a recital this morning. Okay, let's see. How do I call the guy? Yeah, I did talk with him a little bit yesterday. I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's gonna be a good time. This will be our first interview on the stream. Hey, Xenonix, what's up? So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it goes well. Alright. I know there's a button on here to call the guy. Make a call. How do you oh, here it is. Start voice call. No, do that. Share your no. Turn on camera. Hopefully this works. Yo, what is up?
What's up, dude?
How are you doing? Welcome. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, sweet. I can hear you too.
You can. Good. Nice. Hey, Alright, well, I'm just gonna turn that off. Sorry, this is very professional stream. Alright, how's it going, dude?
All good, man.
Good. Welcome to it. What are you up to?
Not much, man. Just chilling.
Nice.
Just here, ready to have a chat and,
Awesome.
say hi to some people. I can't see the fucking who's talking or whatever, so I'll let you, if anyone comes in and says hi or whatever, tell me.
Well, right now we got Yo Variable and Delta Quartz and
What up, Yo Variable?
And Xeno Index.
Xeno.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway. We talked a little bit yesterday, did a little like test call and stuff.
Yeah.
You have a lot of cool gear. We'll definitely do a Cassart. Welcome.
Just tell me when Mr. Leaky comes on.
Let you know when Mr. Leaky comes on. Justo Dua. Oh, right on. Alright. Yeah, we got some people watching.
Sweet.
Anyway, yeah. So yeah, Nick, you've done. I mean, you're a guy. Well, for anyone who isn't aware, I'm sure most people watching for this are, but you're a moderator on Zen Harmonic Alliance Discord, which is like probably the most active like microtonal space on the internet. And they're bigger ones, but they're not they don't have like the same consistent level of activity. People share music on there all the time. Blah blah blah.
It's pretty active for active music sharing. It's nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a cool space. But yeah, everybody knows you there, so you're a known person to people who are like on the Discord and all that. But yeah, you do a lot of cool stuff with Zen harmonic music. You write music. You have a lot of ideas. You've made really cool tools. Like you've made a ear trainer. You made I don't know what else did you make. Made some interesting tools like
Probably the ones that are the most important are the generalized Tonet's lattice maker. I use that one the most myself. Ear trainer was cool, but I don't really see it as that important. It's very very neat, but ear training has to be more contextual, I think, for it to really matter musically. So yeah. Um,
and that's the Tonnets. Hold on, let me go look at your website real quick. Tonets. Nice. Here I'm gonna take a look at it. The tools. Yeah, if you go on Nick's website, I'm gonna obscure your face for a moment, Nick. He's got his a bit. Oh, there's nothing on there really, but he's got a ton of music. He's got like 30 something songs on here, or maybe more. He's got a ton of music, and I didn't realize like how much music you've made and how much of it is microtonal. And y'all can't hear Nick. I can hear you. Here, I think. How do I fix this? They cannot hear you. Huh. Device. It got silenced. Was it when I put on my headphones? Here, I think there's a way to get your audio. So y'all were probably hearing him through my microphone. Let me see if I can fix this. Maybe we should have done more testing for the audio. Sorry, guys. Very what? No, that's not it. Hold on. Huh? Okay, I could just take the headphones off. But you'll hear double, right? When I take the headphones off. See, I'm trying to, let's see if I make a dedicated oops. No audio for that. Talk, Nick, please. Sorry. Can you say so? Can you talk?
Hello. Can you hear me, Zeno?
Can y'all hear him at all? No? Fuck. Ah, man. You can hear? You heard that? Okay, that worked. Okay, well,
It worked.
you can hear him through both. You can only hear me through one. Okay, sorry, y'all. All right. Vuci is back. All right, Fitzgerald. Oh, we got a lot of people watching tonight. Holy shit. What a night. What a great idea this was. All right. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, thanks for reaching out. I was definitely honored to be the first person you wanted to interview. I figured, it'd probably be good for some viewership based on,
People are more interested in you than in me, apparently. All right. Anyway, which is fair, because you are sort of a mysterious figure. Part of the reason is because you put out so much music, but you're not constantly shilling it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't try to be a mysterious figure. I just I used to be on like the voice chat a lot more when I first got on the Denmark Discord because I was during COVID, so it was like a place to go and chat. But ever since the COVID restrictions ended, I basically just I go on my phone and I talk. I don't really hang out the same way I used to.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, hey, let's learn a little more about you since you're here. Thank you for coming on. Hopefully everything
Absolutely.
is sorted out and ready now. Nick, I think everyone is dying to know when did you start making music? What started your journey as a musician and like how did you get into Zen?
Yeah. So actually, it's funny. When I was really young, my grandfather was a big band trumpet player, and my he bought our family a little stand-up piano. Um, and I wasn't really into music, um, but my mom is one of those people who likes to get her kids to perform. Like for example, my youngest brother did some film stuff, and so she kind of like when he was young got him, agent and all these things, and tried to like, for lack of a better term, pimp him out. So, anyways, when I was really young, uh, I was made to do violin and piano and play and stuff like that, but I really didn't like it. Um, I really didn't like it at all, to be honest. I remember, they'd have my parents have parties, and I'd be like in my room, and they'd be like pull me out, and I'd have to like play Bach or something for the party, and
Oh no.
guests would like give me some $5, $10 bills, and I go back, and it was really like not the thing.
Hmm.
So I stopped doing music after a lot of protesting, and then restarted again when I was in, I guess like high school, going or like before like puberty, when you realize girls like music, and
Oh
when all
yeah.
your friends start to like when all your friends start to
Yeah.
play Green Day tabs and Seven Nation Army or whatever, like that kind of phase. So it was
Yeah.
fun because everyone was getting into music, and I already kind of knew how to do some stuff, so that was kind of neat. But then I went a bit too far. I went past just impressing girls to studying Bach and counterpoint and you know Baroque music and this and that, and you know I started. I decided I wanted to go to university for music, but
Wow.
I started taking lessons with this person for composition, and he was actually a jazz guitar player. He was a student of Joe Pass, and a lot of guys went for him for guitar, but he also knew his music because he had been through you know the institutions. So I was studying composition with him through uh, fame that tonal harmony textbook, Kostya. I can't remember all the names, but it's a
Yeah.
pretty standard one. I was in, like I said, high school at this time, and I remember he said something about the 5-to-1 being so important, right? And I asked him why, and he kind of like stopped. It was like, "Come with me," and he took me to the piano in this music studio, this where they were doing lessons in the music store, and he opened up the back and he showed me the overtones, which is I think like the Rameau justification for tonal harmony, the idea of the overtones in dictating the strength of certain movements. So I went home and I learned about that, and I went on Audacity and I used the tone generator to generate, the harmonic series like 100 hertz, 200 hertz, 300 hertz, 400 hertz, and I just like spliced the pieces to try to make melody
You were in college when
with
you
the
did
thing. And
this?
so, pardon?
This was when you were in college or before?
No, 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 no. I never went to college. Actually, I
Oh,
never
I
ended up
see.
going to college for music.
Oh, you were
I was in high
studying
school.
privately.
Yes,
I got
yes.
you. Okay.
Because
So,
like all my friends would
yeah.
do guitar lessons or singing lessons or whatever, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to do composition, right?
Oh, that's cool.
Um, so
Yeah.
so yeah, I just was in the basement of my parents' house as a 15-year-old or whatever, and just splicing these melodies and trying to make harmonic series melodies. And yeah, so that's basically the start of microtonality and music for me. Yeah. Eventually, I started to learn about Harry Partch. I like found the Yahoo tuning list around that time, and
Oh, okay.
making instruments.
Were you on
And
the tuning list when it was still active?
I was on it. I wasn't active, but I think going back to, I can't remember. So I checked once on my email, like how far back it was. It was many years ago that the first email I got on it was. I mean, at that time I didn't really understand a lot of what they're saying, right? I mostly went on it, so there was a lot of email lists. The
Okay.
tuning list is just the famous one, but the one that was connected that I liked a lot was the Make Microtonal Music one. They called it like MMM, and
Okay.
you could see Chris Weisel and Herman Miller always posting music there, right? And that was the one I like to like check in on the most.
Make
The tuning
microtonal
theory
music.
one, yeah. Even now, I don't really. Even now, a lot of the tuning theory stuff on the list is like you have to really figure out what they're talking about. So, as a 15-year-old, 16-year-old kid, 17, probably the latest when I was really plugged in, you couldn't. I couldn't figure out what the hell they were talking
Were they doing
about.
RTT back then, or were they just figuring that out?
Yeah. So at that time they had already segmented away from these different lists, right? So the tuning list was the first one, and it was just like the catch-all because it actually started as a Mills College tuning list, which is the college that
Mm.
Ben Johnson was at, and Harry Parch
Oh, okay.
first did his stuff there, right? So they were the first ones to have an email list that was the Mills College tuning list, and then it kind of like split into different ones, especially as the RTT thing, started to come alive, especially as they like switched to Yahoo. And then it became like there was like tuning math, tuning theory, music making. And then it became a bunch of weird lists sort of split up, and yeah, yeah. So the tuning theory list is still considered the most like standard, but there was a bunch of other attached ones.
So when you were first doing this stuff, like you said you were about 15 and you're going on Audacity and you're drawing in sine waves on Audacity, is that correct?
No, I
Basically.
would take the tone generator, right?
Okay.
And you can take a tone generator on Audacity and be like, make, 5 seconds of 100 hertz. And it makes a little thing. And you do that 200 hertz, 300 hertz,
Oh.
400 hertz. And then I would like splice segments of those samples so I could have like, 8 to 16 overtone. And then I would make a melody with like those overtones.
Oh, it's
You know what
nuts.
I mean?
Would you put those in a
Yeah.
sampler?
No, you could just put them like one next to each other on another track.
I see. So
Yeah.
you. Oh, all right, all
You would
right.
just look, you would just say like, it's
Mhm.
okay, this is 1 second, this is half a second, this is 2 seconds. That's like a whole beat, half beat, eighth. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of. Okay. So, uh, so when you're doing, is that, so how did you grapple with like the limitations of making microtonal music? I mean, you're doing stuff in Audacity where, because you're also playing
It's gotten better
violin,
and better over
piano.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gotten better over time, obviously. I remember when I first found Zenad Sub FX, which is, I think, one of the more famous microtonal ones back in the day.
Uh,
It came with the LMMS Studio, which is the free Linux DAW, right?
okay.
Um, that was really cool because you could just input, a Scala file. And before that, though, I like made instruments and stuff. I
Oh,
remember making
really?
like overtone
Oh,
flutes. I'd take like PVC pipe and cut them to length and like put membranes on them and hit them and that kind of stuff. Because I think at that time there was a lot of that actually, right? There was like a lot of like the Blue Man Group and people were on YouTube making weird PVC instruments. I'm sure there still are. So that
sure.
was kind of yeah, and also just random things, copper pipes, right? You take copper pipe, cut the lengths, and tie it with string, so it's like a xylophone. There's a Vietnamese instrument where it's bamboo that's kind of like strung on an angle. I try to like make that with copper pipes, but
Oh,
it's simple.
wow.
Just stuff like that. Yeah, just stuff like that, and you know,
How do you know that? How do you know it's in tune? Do you just pull out a tuner
yeah,
and
you'd
like
pull a
crunch the
tuner. I
numbers
mean,
or
you'd measure, right? And you
yeah,
calculate, and then you'd cut a bit more and you would shave down to tune it.
I see.
Yeah.
Nice.
And at the same time, it was, um, you know, with that sort of stuff, with real instruments or with this sort of like it was very like Harry Parch inspired at that time because he was the only guy I could find really who you know approached this problem and like found a full solution to the theory and the making the instruments and the philosophy of it. Being exactly in tune all the time, having like sustained harmony, everything, it's not the
Mm.
most important thing. The most important thing is the musical affect of the new, intervals and the new things like that, right? You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Hmm.
It's like is a piano always perfectly in tune? Like not
Right.
really, but do
No.
you get major and minor? Do you get that's an octave? Sure, right?
Yeah.
So as long as it had the effect of an overtone scale, and it was distinct from a major scale, that's really all I wanted at the time. And plus, like I said, with Harry Parch, there was the idea that you're kind of you're imitating the human voice, and you're having a lot of discrete pitches. Like it's not just a grid, right? There's a lot of movement, and that was uh, that was just a part of it as well. I might tune the instrument to be an exact pitch, but then I would bend the pitch and stuff as I played. Of course, like everyone does everywhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just know if it was me, I'd be going absolutely nuts trying to get it all correct.
Yeah. Well, it's learning these things is progressive. You get better and better at hearing even regular music, right? Even with regular music, you can play Mary Had a Little Lamb when you're young, right? And you get better and better at the intonation as you play. That's just how it is, you're playing on a violin and you might think you have it, but 10 years later, what you played will sound way out of tune to you probably. Yeah.
Right. Right. All right. Cool. Anyway, so we learned a bit about your history. Let's what are you doing lately? What are you doing musically? Like I see you chatting online and stuff, but I don't know what you're up to. Are you working on? Do you do
Yeah.
albums? Do you
No,
have a
don't do them.
compositional focus? Is it theoretical? Do you just like when do you write something and why?
Um, Generally when I play music, it's really a lot of the time I just do it for myself because I'm not, you know, when I was young I was made to perform. When I was like a young adult, I like gigged and stuff. And now that I, not gigging and just have a different career, I just play music for myself. And I don't really record a lot of what I play. But when I share on the Discord, it's usually because it's something I feel is it's like a proof of concept that's worth sharing. It's almost like it's something that I feel is a musical idea that's worth sharing. So when I get one of those, I'll do it. Um, Lately, I've been really into getting like deeply Zen harmonic, not just like five limit novel lattices and stuff like that. Like really getting into like you know uh, more Zen harmonically complicated and like that kind of stuff. You know,
Wait, what do you mean?
yeah, like 11 limit tonality diamond, six note chord 11 limit stuff like that, or like MOS that are not really five limited at all, not diatonic at all. Those kinds of things. Just sort of yeah. So as for what my composition focus is right now, it's the same as always. It's just focusing on whatever catches my interest, whatever I happen to feel at the time, and yeah, you
But
know,
when I'm on your website, there's like music and tons of tunings. You got a lot of stuff in. I mean, but there's some
yeah,
there's some repeat offenders. There's a lot of 22. There's quite a few
yeah,
in 34. I think
yeah,
we like a lot of the same tunings. Like I'm a huge 22 fan. I'm a huge 34 fan. I
yeah.
also saw like
Yeah.
19 and all that. And you do JI stuff as well. Do you have preferred like tuning area? Do you like sharp fifths?
No, I don't have a preferred tuning area. I think sometimes I'll focus more on a tuning for some reason. Like I remember 16 was seen as like very difficult or very like not good to a lot of people. So I did a lot of 16 stuff,
Okay.
and that was wise because I wanted to understand it and I wanted to, hear the music of 16 and how it sounded, how it could sound good. Um Preferred tuning, I mean, one thing is if the EDO is too big or the limit's too high or the MOS is too many things, I stop being interested in it, right? Because you kind of have a convergence of diminishing returns with all of these things when you go too high.
Yeah.
Um, you start to run into different problems that are compositionally interesting, but they kind of like for example with 34, right? 34 you will run into chromatic type steps, right? Because
Yeah.
it gets really small, and so if the
There's like more than
one of the
one.
issues of JI,
Yeah.
yeah, one of the issues of JI is that you have commas. So if you're using an equal division and you're getting commas again, right? But that's one of those things that I learned over time by doing these things. So
Right.
I'd say, yeah,
Like in 34, you have like two, arguably three, like good harmonic sevenths, and then yeah, stuff like
yeah,
that. So
yeah,
so
and I
it's
think
it
with
becomes harder to make choices sometimes about like what
that's right.
how to build your
Yeah.
chords and
Well, and even if you just have this is my major third, this is my minor third, I'm going to just use those, right?
hmm,
When you do, say, like a comma pump where you go across the lattice, you'll have it where the same chord progression repeats, but like one step higher
yeah,
in
yeah,
that
yeah.
in that progression. So then the question becomes, is that not something that people tend to not like about JI? And so if you're encountering it in the equal division because it's so big,
Right.
you know. So, anyways, I'd say, but it doesn't mean 34 is bad or 53 is bad or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
It's just that I find that it doesn't catch my interest as much to have something really big because it kind of just it's like infinite, right? It's like you can go up the harmonic series until you can't tell the difference between an equal division that's that big or as they kind of like merge into this like infinite
Yeah.
thing at a certain point. I like it when it's lower level, like smaller EDOs, lower limit JI, smaller MOS, because then they have very distinct, you know, flavors. Yeah.
Sure. Um.
So
Yeah. Well, you play like a ton of instruments, right?
yeah, I dabble. I dabble. I wouldn't say I play as much as I used to because playing it requires practice a lot, right? To really like play an instrument, you got to like practice every day.
Right.
Uh,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm not as sedentary as I once was. So a lot of time I'll have a week or two and I'll play piano and then I'll go off somewhere and come back and it's like I never practiced at all, right? So, but I like to play instruments. Same as with making music. I like to just do it meditatively for myself. You know,
Oh, right now.
well, yeah. Most of the music I play is like that, just like on instruments by myself. It's not stuff I record and share on Discord. Yeah.
I see. So, is all the music you put up, is that all electronic?
No. Well, I mean, most of it is digital, as in even if it is not electronic instruments, it is a digital rendering, right?
Okay.
Um, but no, there's some there that are like retuned samples or even modified instruments. I think I have one thing that is I have a recorder and I put like a putty on the holes and like tune them so I can
Oh,
play
interesting.
Tetracon 7. Like,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
nice.
So like there's stuff like that there for sure. But yeah, I'd say, well, electronic music it's fun, it's fun and it's easy to do a proof of concept with electronic music, I find, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Like if you have like you're trying to show something, you can very quickly go on a DAW and put it all together. Whereas if you have to like, I gotta retune my instrument, I gotta, record it, I gotta mix and master all these things. It takes a lot more to just pump something out. So that's why you see a lot of EDM on the Discord. Is just because EDM is the vehicle. That's the easiest to
Yeah.
get a thing out there, right?
It's easy to retune a
You know?
DAW. It's hard to build
Yes,
an instrument
exactly.
or like a
Yeah,
whole
yeah. Or
ensemble.
even to record it, right? To record an
Yeah.
instrument takes it's a bit of a headache. You're just by yourself in your room sometimes,
Um, Stephen Weigel is in the chat. I think you
Hello,
actually
Stephen.
answered this, but he did ask, do you use tunings without 3/2 You said you did 16 Ito, so
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. 16, 8.
What? Yeah. Oh,
8.
really?
Um, I think that like
I heard a good 8 Ito just like 20 minutes ago, or I guess it was
that was
longer
the
than that.
Nocturne by Neil Thorncock there.
Yeah, it was like an hour
Yeah, yeah,
ago.
it's nice. It's very nice.
I was
Andrew Hunt
impressed.
also has some great eight Ito piece on his equal tempered keyboard.
Yeah,
Um, have like a joke song. It's like a comedy piece about people hating on eight Ito. It's like a aggressive EDM type piece. It's funny. I enjoy it. Um,
that's yours.
I
You
think that
said
like yeah,
okay.
go.
That's yours. You made the joke piece, or that was your friend?
No, that was me. That
Oh,
was
right.
me.
Is that on your website?
I don't remember. It should
Oh,
be on the
right.
Discord. I can find it
Okay.
for you
All
if
right.
you
All
want to.
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm using fifths is. I don't find fifths to be essential to make music. And if it doesn't have a fifth, it's nice because it invites all different structures entirely, right? And that's fun. That's fun. Yeah.
I find those tunings hard because it's hard to like 8 for instance. It feels like a just like a weird diminished scale. I don't know if you've ever tried writing music just in a diminished scale, but you can do it for a
Yeah, it's
little
two
while,
diminished
but
chords,
yeah.
basically a quarter tone apart, you know, and that has its charms and its positives and negatives.
It feels like it's hard to like establish momentum. Like you can make a vibe and then it's like you're just in that. But I've heard cool stuff in it, so I mean, I
Well, if you want like a triad, of course you can't have a stable triad in the way you can with a fifth, but you also have a lot of minor thirds.
yeah.
You don't need
Hmm.
a fifth really, and you have, there's a lot you can do, and there's a lot of structures that give you totally different things, and I think that's just fine.
Is there an interesting structure that you think doesn't get enough attention, like it's harmonically? Like, because we all talk about dual fifths, bad fifths. We all talk about Bowl and Pierce, blah blah blah. What
I
is
feel
there?
like
Yeah.
honestly that gets enough attention. I don't know about that. It's like hard to say. So many things get so much attention. So many more things get attention than I even care about.
I
um,
feel like we know like we like and I like Zen people they talk about like stuff on the extremes all the time, but not as much like if Ito is really good at JI, it gets a lot of attention like 31, 41 I
I think
guess
over
not as
time,
much but
when you look at like everything, a lot of things get attention, and it's just hard to see everything that everyone's focusing on. And I think I really like the 8, 11, 14 triad. That sort of I guess like machine kind of thing, or no, or what, or orgone. That's it, orgone. The
oh,
orgone
okay.
temperament triad, right? I really like that sound. 11 it's like what I use in 11, you know. Um, but I don't think there's anything that doesn't get enough attention. I think what doesn't get enough attention is just the fundamentals, really.
Yeah.
I think that there's so much focus on, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying this is like good or bad, but there's so much focus on higher and higher levels of theoretical exploration, and not enough focus on comprehension of the basic core, you know, principles of the thing, of Zen harmonic music,
Just like
right?
how you write a decent tune or how the chords fit together, even a,
Well, I mean, I mean that's like the musical side, right?
yeah,
That's a very broad spectrum as well. Because I was talking with someone the other day about this. It's about like giving feedback and stuff, and it's like, well, how do you give feedback when everyone has a different musical preference? Oh, really, right?
sure, yeah.
Um, some people are really into this type of music that I just can't understand it at all. How do I tell? How do you know? You know, and vice versa.
Tell them their
I'm
taste in
talking more
music
about
is bad.
right taste of music. I'm talking more about like just the basic, you know, uh, 11 limit, 13 limit JI, tonality diamonds, MOS, 7 8 note MOS, 6 7 8 note, 9
Okay,
note even MOS.
interesting.
Um, you know,
Well,
the actually being actually understanding the like 10 or so really good novel temperaments, novel regular temperaments, right? Like actually knowing porcupine, tetrachord, and you know, schismatic, and all these different ones,
schismatic,
schismic or whatever, schismic, yeah, sorry,
schismic, really?
or whatever it's called. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
No,
I've read the
what's it
name.
called?
12 EDO is something. 29, 53, I guess, are all in that area, but I
It's
don't know.
basically there's a chart on the Discord, and it shows uh, a few temperaments that are not close to mean tone because mean tone is like just so exceptionally good, right? But they're the closest to mean tone relative to all the temperaments that people have
Well,
found.
mean tone gives you
And
the good 5 4, ideally, right? Is that
yeah,
how it works?
mean tone is like, of course, it's incredibly good, and it's like magically good,
I,
right? Like it's
yeah.
so incredible. But what I mean to say is that like the temperaments that are closest to
Mm.
being that good, you don't see a lot of people really like exploring them as musical systems, right? And I think that's really what doesn't get enough attention.
Do you do like rank 2 temperament tunings? Like do you like
I've done it
load
before.
that
Yeah,
up
I've
on
done it
a
before.
yeah.
Yeah, I have some pieces where it's like some temperament, but with like an unchanged interval. That's some unchanged interval. You know, it's not an equal division tuning. It's tied to a pure interval. Like I think I have a Mavila which is like that, but it's an unexplored space. The idea of regular temperaments as being in between JI and equal division. A lot of time we think of regular temperaments, we think of them in terms of an equal division, right? Um, and not many
Right.
people use the mini max generator of a temperament a lot of the
I've
times.
tried it before, but like it's like it gives you a little bit of irregularity, which is what you expect from JI, but it's more regular, you know what I mean? But I don't know, it's you can get cleaner harmonies, I feel like, but it almost never it's like too subtle for me to appreciate personally.
Right. I think that's yeah, it's one of those things, right? Like does it really matter if it's 31 equal divisions or if it's a perfectly tuned
I mean,
5/4 and
yeah,
it's slightly
right.
off, right? Like
Yeah.
um you know, Sintel said something on the Discord the other day that I thought was interesting. He's like, no one's ever done actual RTT. I think maybe you saw that or someone, right? And it was like, what does that mean, Sintel? And I don't know. I thought about that a lot actually over time, where RTT has this big range of things that it lets you do, but not many people really do a lot of them. We just use it to explain the just intonation interpretation of an equal division or of an MOS in an equal division,
Yeah.
right? So I don't know. Yeah, more focus on the basics, more focus on like the fundamentals is what we're missing.
And
That's what I would
for
say.
you that includes like tonics and or I'm sorry, yeah, tonics and MOS
Yeah,
scales.
lattices are a tool.
Mm,
I wouldn't say that you need to focus on them, right? But the reality is, if you're going to do JI, if you're going to do equal divisions, if you're going to do temperaments, lattices help. It's like a map, right?
yeah,
That's all. It's just a map. You can use it or not. You don't really. It's not essential. Um, but understanding the the structures of JI and of MOS and equal divisions, the basic ones, that's important. Yeah.
yeah. Hey, while you're here, did you want to show off any of your instruments or talk about like
Yeah, sure. It's a bit late. I'm in an apartment, so I can't really play too much. But
even if we
I
can
guess the
just
first thing I want
check
to
them
show is
out?
I didn't
Yeah,
show you yesterday. But this is from by Richie Green. I know you've probably seen it
yeah.
around or
I've
maybe.
seen that,
And
of
it's a split
course.
key MIDI controller.
It's,
Super cool. He 3D printed these keys.
it's
It's in
in
19 equal divisions
19.
right
Yeah,
now. And
you can switch
Richie
it.
is a really great guy. If he ever sees this, hi Richie, you're awesome. He actually used some of my stuff in his course, his university course, on some, I forget, on MOS, I think. I had some diagrams or graphics on MOS,
Nice.
and he used it in his course. So that was really an honor. And this is super cool. He makes these, he has the plans online, he ships them. You can take this off and put a 17 equal division one.
Yeah, okay.
Very cool. Um, the the coolest thing I have right now is the hex board, and I just want to say,
Fabled
I
hex
think,
board.
yeah, the hex board is super friggin' cool. If you're thinking about getting it, get it, because for what it is, it's amazing. And I just have this right now set up to. It's a bit too bright for the camera. Let's see if I can turn it down. But I have it set up to the full gamut of 22. And
Amazing.
basically, so this whole thing is 22, and it's about, let's see what I have. It's about 6.5 octaves of 22 right here. So
Yeah.
it's very
We,
cool.
we talked about this a little yesterday, but all these other people weren't there. Could you explain what's kind of weird about the layout on that again? Because like, isn't it
Yeah,
not?
I'll just tell you what's great about it first.
Sure.
What's great about it is it's portable and has built-in like synth and oscillator in it. So you can actually
Yeah.
plug this in like on a bus or you're at school or something,
Yeah.
and you can just put your headphone in one of these jacks here, these yeah,
Yeah.
and one
I
of these
didn't know
ports,
that.
and you can
That's
actually
awesome.
just
Yeah.
play with like a triangle wave or a sine wave or whatever things, and it's an open source firmware, so you can do your own stuff with it too. Um,
So it's a portable
and
synth.
there's tons of layouts, tons of equal divisions, tunings, and all this stuff. And you can also like change the scale, so you can like have a layout for an equal division, and then put some certain scale, and only those notes are lit up, or you can only touch those notes, which is super cool.
Wait, what?
But the big thing, how's that?
You can get to only show the notes of a particular scale?
Yes,
Can you program what
yes.
scale that is, or is it all presets?
You could. It's already pre-programmed, but you can go in and edit it if you want to or know how.
Nice. That's awesome.
So, yeah, it's cool. So, for example, let me just
It's a hex
do this
board,
here.
Steven.
So here I have it. I have it on Bozan K. Wilson layout. It doesn't look like Bozan K. Wilson because it's a rainbow, but I promise you it is. And there's different color layouts. We'll talk about that in a second. And so if I go here and I
Doesn't
switch the
look like anything.
scale to the diatonic, you see now only the diatonic is lit
Oh,
up,
that's it.
right?
What?
Yeah.
You can't
And
make.
you can also make it so only you can play that. So you can switch between things and do all these stuff, and it's fun. The one thing, as you can see though, is, and I don't want to say, oh, this is da da da, because this is like 99% good. This thing, it's like really great, and you can customize it yourself. I just haven't got around to doing it.
You can customize the
Best thing about the
colors.
firmware. Yeah, you can go in the firmware, like you can go on GitHub and get the firmware, and change things up yourself if you want. If you know how.
So if you see every color, you can get it to make sense.
Yeah, you could make a layout where all these are the same color. But there isn't a layout where they are all the same color. and I wish there was. So that's one thing is because usually when you have Bozanke Wilson, it doesn't look rainbow. It
No,
looks
it looks
like
like Boson
three
K.
levels
Wilson
of
or Bozon K. Wilson, whatever we're calling it now.
Bosanquet. You can say Bosanquet if you want,
I'm gonna start
right?
saying Boson Quet.
Bosanquet.
Boson Quet Wilson.
So basically, yeah, it's a really great. This is like my favorite thing I've gotten in a long time.
Now it looks
It's
awesome.
all like yeah, 3D printed and it's all nice. And the back is pretty too.
What
Like
the?
that's pretty cool.
Holy shit.
Shaping the Silence. I believe Jared DeCook is his name.
Okay.
Great guy, and I highly recommend this that thing for people. Yeah. Um,
Amazing.
I guess yeah.
It's amazing.
It's incredible. I would. Oh,
Good
like
keyboard.
actually though, if you want it, like if you're thinking about getting it, get it. It's really good.
Buy
I've
Hexboard.
had more fun with that Hexboard than with almost anything I've had in a long time.
Hell yeah.
So I guess something else I wanted to show is just a principle that is important. I don't see it used a lot, and it's really useful. I'm going to show it with this fretless bass. So what I have here is a fretless bass, and I have just practice tape, fingering tape, like for beginner violin players.
Yep,
And
yep.
what this is it's fretted for 13. And one of the things about MOS that are so important is
No.
if you have a violin or a guitar or whatever, you tune it to like fourths or fifths, right? And then you have a consistent fingering. So you can go da 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 da, and you play the major scale with the same fingering on the two strings. You can do that with MOS scales, just generally. So with this, it's like 13, and I don't know if you'll be able to hear. I can't remember. Can you hear that? No.
Do you have the noise suppression on or?
Oh yeah, I think I do. 1 second.
Yeah, 13's a bold choice.
Oh, I like 13.
I do too. But...
You hear that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
There we go.
right?
Oh yeah.
And so the idea is that I'm playing the narratonic scale, just using a very consistent fingering across these keys because it's actually the strings are tuned in such a way that the large and small segments of a narratonic follow, right? Just like how in the major scale you can have it where you can play up to the fourth and you play from the fifth back to the tonic, and it's the same, it's the same pattern, right? From G to C and C to F, it's whole half and then whole half again, right?
Yeah.
So in other words, you're using the same fingering pattern on the two strings that are tuned a fifth apart.
So the
It's the
the
same
number
thing
of
with other
frets and
MOS.
everything is the same.
Yeah, that's right. So with other MOS scales, you can just do this, and I think it's a really important principle for accessibility with microtonal music, right? You can use MOS scales to have a consistent fingering pattern on an instrument, and that's really useful.
Right.
So so you see how it's like you can play that same melody a string higher. It's like a call and response kind of thing. That's super cool. I don't know if you caught that, but yeah. So that's something I wanted to show is that if you use an MOS scale and use an equal division fretting or whatever,
Yeah.
or spacing, it can be on a violin or whatever.
On a fretboard, you can take any
On a
shape and move it
fretboard, yeah, on a
around.
fingerboard.
Yeah.
Not even a fingerboard, yeah.
Fingerboard in this
that's-
case, yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's super important.
You can
That's
move.
something I wanted to show.
You can move that shape. Get the same scale
yeah,
in a different key. Yeah.
You can, like I said, you can tune the strings so that it's like the fourth of 13 instead of the fourth of 12, and now you can play the narratonic scale. If it, whatever the layout is for the MOS.
Yeah.
This is something that I really like. It's I saw someone on the Discord get a lap steel, and they did a paper printout of 22. I thought, oh, that's really cool.
Hmm.
I want to try that. So I got like a cheap lap steel, and what I realized is that the fingerboard, well, again, it's not really a fingerboard or a fretboard, really, but I guess it's a fretboard because you don't press down onto the fret, right? Is
Okay.
that it is you can actually like take it off really easily, and so you can actually take these off and put different layouts on them and put them under, and like screw it in or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll plug this one in because you need
For the people watching, the only reason I don't seem absolutely amazed right now is because I saw this yesterday. But trust me, yesterday I was exploding with excitement.
and what do I have here? You have I use this little Pyrex rod, just like Harry Parched it, obviously. And these are just to like 3-2, 7-4, 2-1, 5-4, kind of stuff like that. And you can tune it to whatever just intonation or equal division tuning you want. Usually these are tuned in a way that it's kind of easy to, it's like some notes are repeating, obviously, and it's like a fifth and another octave and whatever.
Yeah.
I like to tune them to hexachords because it's just fun.
Hexachords.
Anyways, the
Nick.
point about this is that you can easily flip the fretboard around and easily retune it as well. So this is a really important instrument for Zen harmonic music. And in fact, it was one of the first ones that Harry Parch did was
So
his adapted guitar.
you can take that fretboard out and you can. So
Yes.
it has. Those aren't frets? Those are just markers.
This is just paint marker that I've done.
I see.
And
Do you
I've
have
actually
you
had
do you make more of those too, or do you just
I
clean
do
it
have
off
some more
and
around,
yeah.
but they're just like it's just got same kind of basic thing. It's like different EOs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
And this is just any old slide guitar, right? It's just like a
yeah,
cheap one.
it's any old slide guitar, but the idea is that you can switch out the reference, and you can also change the tuning, of course.
Yeah.
And so these things are useful for like JI equal divisions, etc.
Yeah.
It's like a great and relatively cheap solution. And I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun too. It's a lot of fun to play.
And you
Like I
said
said, I can't be too loud. I'm in an apartment. It's
sure, yeah.
11 o'clock right now, but
You said it's tuned to a hexachord. Is that just a 6-note chord? What is that?
yeah, that would be like the 11 limit hexachord. I don't know. That's not perfectly tuned right now. I'd have to tune it a bit better, but it's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah. Also, like again, I can't be too loud, but another thing that I really recommend is if you're into traveling around and if you play violin and if you're into, you know, intonational, um, like versatility, like being able to do a lot of different intonation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you want to play in a lot of different
I highly
tunings.
recommend some type of viol, but I especially recommend the erhu, which is like the Chinese violin. And this is a coconut hu or whatever. It's not standard. This one is with a coconut. But the thing about these that's so cool is they have 2 strings, so not a lot, and they don't have fingerboards. So you can get a lot of intonation variety with just pressure, with very subtle movements. On the violin, it's a lot more like you really like you get it, and you can move your finger around. But with this, it's a lot more like I don't know, open. And another thing about it too is that the violin, to anyone who's ever played, it's not great physiologically. It's a very hard instrument on your physiology because
It's hard
I
to
think
hold.
violinists and violists have the most, musicians' dystonia and injury out of
Oh,
all
really?
instruments, pretty much.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. That makes sense because
And
you're
that's because you're like,
holding the thing up.
it hurts to even think about it, to be honest. With this, it's a very ergonomic instrument. And you can get these relatively cheap. Like, you can get a beginner
Arhu for less than a beginner violin, and they're very versatile. You can switch the strings out with other things. Um, you have this little thing here. I have this folded up hemp cloth,
Hmm.
but you could use different sponges and stuff. It came with a shell. Actually, it was a shell originally,
Interesting.
and that changes the sound too. So the string changes the sound. This changes the sound,
That's a
and you can change
coconut?
them out to like anything to experiment, right? Um, I highly recommend Arhus for anyone who wants to do microtonal music, who likes to play violin or likes to play cello or whatever. Um,
Neat.
yeah, so I mean, I got some other random things here and there, but that's basically the ones that are right here that are worth showing. Like I said, you can do this with anything, right? You can cut pipes and put them together. You can take a plastic recorder from the dollar store and put putty on the holes and retune it. You make the hole a certain size. You could make if you want real instruments. There's a lot of options, cheap options, without buying like something crazy. Yeah.
So you're saying you can get into Zen harmonic music without having to buy a Lumitone?
You can get into Zen harmonic music with with basically nothing, with anything you want. Yes, you don't need a Lumitone. I know that's a thing. People are like, oh, it makes it look like you need the Lumitone. I don't think that. I don't think the Lumitone implies that you need a Lumitone to play microtonal music. I think that's an interesting idea.
What do you think about people singing? Like, should that be legal?
No, straight to jail.
Strings
Singing
only?
is, singing is the essence of it, of course, right? Of course, singing is the heart and soul of this thing, music, and Zen harmonic music no less.
All right.
Yeah, like when Harry Partch was exploring this stuff hundred so years ago now, the idea was that he wanted to express human intonation better. It's like he wanted the music to sing better, to talk better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's just a fundamental part of music, of course.
Trying to be more organic and authentic and just in the moment and
Yeah.
human and expressive.
The human, expressive. That's
Hey,
right. Human, raw. Like not so rigorous, not so refined. A little more dirty, a little more, you know, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, a little more vulnerable. Like I think singing is everyone should sing first. To be honest, like when you're doing ear training or you're doing scale studies or you're doing any of that, you should sing as well because singing is where you get a sense of like the song inside of the scale, right? Like the melody is inherent in the scale. It's through singing. Um, it's not through just like playing it on your computer or playing it on an instrument. It's the, singing is like the mind body connection. I think it brings it out a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Another thing I wanted to ask you about, if you don't mind, um, you wrote this article. It's on the Zen Harmonic Wiki, and it's like the history
Yeah.
and philosophy of Zen harmonic music. And several of us like signed it. We read it over, and we thought it was really well written and kind of like gets to I don't know, to the core of Zen harmonic music in a way. It addresses this question of like what makes music Zen harmonic. Like, is it Zen harmonic if it's out of tune? No, not unless it's trying to be like in a different tuning or whatever.
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah. No,
So what's the question you want to just me to talk about?
I wanted to ask, well, I was really impressed with your knowledge of the history, and you seem to know a lot about music history in general, not just Zen harmonic music, but like especially like classical music. Like you know a lot about counterpoint and Bach and this and that. Um, I wanted to compliment you on the article, but
Thank you so
also
much.
like I'm just curious like how how you got into learning about the history specifically about Zen Was that something you just learned from being involved in the community? Is that something you researched? Um, I don't know. I was just curious about
I'd
that.
say that most of it is from being involved, but of course research too, right? They go hand in hand. I just generally like history of things and how things come to be, and I think it helps you understand what the essence of it is, like what the real core of whatever you're doing is, right? And that goes for anything. And with Zen harmonic music, the question came up a lot on the Discord. What is Zen harmonic music? Why is this a term that is used? What does it mean? Does it have a meaning? Should we not use another term? And I think it's an important question, and I don't think it's anyone's fault that that question was hard to find an answer to, because it's not like talked about a lot. There's a lot of like just assumption, and a lot of people kind of come and they have an understanding of it that's, it's almost like they kind of like give it a term, they give it a meaning that's something else already that they understand, right? Zen harmonic could just mean microtonal. It could just mean non-Western, non-12, this, that. And it is all those things, but of course there has to be something more to it for it to be a term. Why did Dar come up with the term? Why did he not just call it the microtonal club or whatever?
Yeah.
So um, the thing is like I already knew about Harry Partch a lot, and I understood this idea behind his music and philosophy. I think I have like every book on Harry Partch
Oh,
in
yeah.
my library. Like I think I have like Bitter Music, Hobo Composer, like Harry Partch biography. Like I have like everything, and so um, and I learned a lot about Darek and about his. I read a lot of his writings, and I eventually found that they were all on Joe Bonzo's website, Tonal Soft, right?
Wow.
And in there, he talks about a lot of stuff in his Zen Harmonic Bulletin articles and all those different articles he wrote. And he talks about what is Zen Harmonic music a lot because it was something he felt he needed to clarify at different times, right? Um, because it started with just like, okay, there was Harry Partch, and then there's this like explosion of inspiration and people like really into this idea of like extended just intonation and like making instruments and uh, non-12 sounds, right? Non-12 EDO sounds, and justifying them with acoustics, with systems and stuff, and it kind of culminated in what became the Zen Harmonic Alliance. And so at the beginning, I think there was kind of an implication that they understood what it meant because they were all like living in it. But over time, I think it became more necessary to really explain what it was and what it wasn't. And so in that article, a lot of it is just quoting Darg, right? A lot of it is just directly quoting Ivor Darg on what it means and what it doesn't mean. And that was really just to paint the picture of what led to Ivor Darg making the term and clarifying it, and what it means for us going forward. Because when we go to the Zen Harmonic Alliance, really, what do we do? We talk about we talk about these things that you don't really talk about elsewhere, right? It's not like a world music server necessarily. It's not like a weird music server. It's not these things that have other places. It's like a specific thing that
Hmm.
you don't find elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
And and that's really what I wanted to just sort of express and represent. I wanted to like tell that story of of this thing that doesn't have another word for it. It doesn't have another space for it. That we all are that we're all here for, most of us, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, um, that's just like a brief overview explanation of it. Yeah. Um,
Cool.
and I learned a lot too. Like I learned a lot too because, like for example, I knew that Helmholtz was a very important book for just intonation in general, but for Harry Partch and for all those guys. I didn't realize that Ellis, when he translated from German to English, added the whole part of all the scales in cents because he actually
Sense,
invented the
yeah.
cent, right? And so you got to think you have this book that has just intonation, talking about it on a scientific level, talking about scales in the world that are different from anything you can do on a piano with set values, which is a whole new thing. At the same time as 12 equal divisions, like 12 EDO is becoming super standard, right? Like you can't buy an instrument, you can't get your piano tuned, you can't do anything if it's not 12. If it's not 12, it's out of tune, period, right? And so that's like a contrast that's happening at that time in the
Mhm.
early, late 1800s, early 1900s. At the same time, music is like kind of looking for where to go next. You have the serialists, and you have like all these things happening, 12, all these things where they're like, where do we go from here, right? Have we used everything that we can do with 12? It's like, so all these things kind of culminate into a, like what becomes Harry Partch's works, and his not just his works, but his theory, his instruments, his legacy. That legacy is like that's Ben Jonson, that's Wilson, that's all these guys, and then they kind of form this informal network around this inspiration, where they're sharing, you know, recordings and they're sharing theories and they're doing newsletters and like all this stuff. And that informal network becomes the Seven Harmonic Alliance. And that informal network becomes the Mills, partially the Mills tuning list,
Mm.
which becomes the Yahoo tuning list, which becomes Zen Harmonic Alliance Facebook, which becomes Zen Harmonic Wiki, Zen Harmonic Alliance Discord. So it's like it's actually a thing, it's not, it's a real like lineage.
All right.
And I guess like expressing that was really the thing I wanted to share.
Mm.
Um, because yeah, like if you don't know where you're coming from, you don't know where you stand. How do you know where you're going, kind of thing,
You're right.
right?
And it's
So
relatively
like just these
recent
guys,
too.
right?
If
Yeah, yeah.
but if you don't mind, Zen Prism asks, what book? I think he's asking about the Helmholtz book
Oh, Helmholtz on the sensation of tone.
on the sensation of tone. I'll type
Yeah,
that.
sensations of tone. It's like it was a really big psychoacoustic text or early acoustics text, and it was Hermann von Helmholtz was a very famous scientist, and he wrote this book in German that explored the just intonation reality behind you know human hearing and acoustics and stuff like that. And then this got translated by a guy named Alexander Ellis, who added, it got translated to English, and he invented the cent, first of all, which we all know, right?
All know
1200
and
cents
love,
in an octave. All know and love.
and fractions of
And he
cents.
had, right, that's right. And he added a whole section, which were scales that he had found around the world and sort of recorded what cents they were at, right? And so this book was like hugely important at that time, and still is a very important work, of course. And that book became the inspiration for a lot of different people for a lot of things. There were actually a lot of people who did just intonation stuff, but the thing is, a lot of them didn't make music, and they didn't make a lot of instruments. There's a lot of theory. There's like some compositions. There was maybe some people who did like one instrument where they like got really, they're like, this is my just intonation keyboard, and it plays, you know, some five limit temperament that's not tone. It wasn't until Harry Parch did his stuff that you had a whole thing where it was a body of musical work. It was a theory, an important theory. It was instruments, and it was something that people could like really grab onto and like go outward with, because there after that there was Bart Hopkins with the music making newsletter. There was Zen Harmonicon. There was the overtone one. There was interval. Like all these things came out of that, where it was like some people were making instruments, doing JI, and just doing. It all came from like that. I think John Schneider said it. He said all roads of American microtonal music go back to Harry Partch,
Mm.
and that is really true. It is really true. You know, whether you like him or not, or his music or not, his influence is not really debatable. And yeah, so Helmholtz, on the Sensations of Tone, that was the book that sort of started this thing for a lot of people, and for Harry Partch, you know, important, most important, I think.
Part of it, I guess, was just like codifying the intervals and understanding like people's perceptions on this sort of more molecular, trying to be like objective about it.
That's right. Yeah, trying to find an objective basis, right? That's really the thing about JI, right?
Yeah.
It's an objective basis for a tonal framework. You don't. It doesn't mean there's no other way or you need it or whatever, but it's something that's like kind of inherent and universal that you can reference. That's why it's so uh, important, I guess. Yeah.
Nice. So we talk a lot about the history and all that. Um, what do you think about the present and the future of Zen? Do you have any thoughts about that? Are you excited about where we're going? Do you have any predictions? Do you think we're about to explode in popularity? Um,
Explode. I mean, I hope we don't explode too much. Exploding can be good or bad. I'd say I don't really have any predictions. I think it's not so much like where I think it'll go. It's more about what we as people in it do with it inside of our own thing, right? It will or will not explode based on a bunch of different factors. But as long as we kind of, you know, get to the point and make music together and like become proficient in our understanding and our ability within Zen harmonics, that's really all that matters, I think. So I don't really have a prediction for the future. I don't think it'll ever be anything super mainstream, but who knows? You know, who knows?
why
You
not?
know,
Why?
because mainstream is a, how do I say this? The mainstream goes in a different direction than what Zen does, right? Mainstream is about like consolidating into more and more uniformity. When you look at music on the radio or the top 10, whatever, it, no matter what genre it is, it more and more sounds the same, right? More and more you have the same song structures, same rhythms. You have a few rhythms from a few genres that are kind of appearing in all genres more and more. And I see Zen as kind of the opposite of that in a way. Not to say there will never be a popular Zen act or that people will become more kind of aware about it, but 12 equal divisions is really good because everyone can kind of like learn it and then go, right? You don't need to think about it anymore. And a lot of that stuff that is practical, you don't really need to think about it a lot. You just do it because everyone does it. You buy a guitar, it's 2 to 12, you play the song you hear on the radio, you go to whatever, right? Zen harmonics doesn't work like that. You know, say there's some 22 song that gets popular, and people are gonna like wonder what the hell, how the hell to play it.
All right.
You know, and what to call everything. And if we can't figure that out with like the 100 of us that are focused on it for decades, I don't, you know what I mean? So it's not to say there will never be anything, right? I just think that the future of Zen is to say it's going to keep going. The Zen is eternal. I think Adam said it. Adam Freeze, the mod on Discord, he said, "People come and go, but the Zen is eternal." And I think that's true. You know, I think that as long as you can't buy an instrument that's not in 12, and you can't go somewhere and, you know, learn music, uh, that's different from 12. There will be a want to go beyond that, and Zen is where that happens in an intentional way, I
Yeah.
think.
Hey, your parents pushed music on you. Do you push all the Zen stuff on them now?
No, I don't. I don't. No, no, I don't at all. My dad is awesome. I love him very much, and he's in Toronto right now, where I'm from. And his girlfriend's Iranian, and she in that circle. There's a guy who puts on these like Middle Eastern classical concerts, and once in a while, I'll be in that environment and I'll talk some nerdy microtonal stuff with some of those people. And my dad will listen and like try to figure stuff out. But no, I don't push music on them. I don't really talk about music too much to people who aren't interested in it. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, come hear this lick. Oh, hear my song. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't pester people with music.
That's why I wanted to interview you specifically. That's why I reached out to you. A big part of it is because, I know I know who you are, and I know you're making music, but yeah, you don't tend to promote yourself that much, and I thought it'd be cool to kind of give you some spotlight. And I do want people watching the interview. Nick has good music. I mean, I've linked his website in the video description. He's got some useful tools, cool ideas. Go to his website, check out his tunes. He's got a really good one in 27 Edo and a lot of other good ones. It's like 40 songs on there or something. So,
Yeah.
Nice. Well, hey man, is there anything else you want to say? Is there?
No, I just want to say thanks for having me on. Thanks for having a chat. It's really nice to actually talk and not just be typing. I know that when you type on the internet, it's very hard to come across as like as a person.
Yeah.
It's like text always looks so severe and so to the point, and
Hey.
it's nice to be able to.
Hey, sorry to cut you off, but hey, what if we take questions from the chatters? We have.
Oh, sure.
We have people here. Does anyone have any
Absolutely, that'd be
questions for Nick? Does anyone want to ask Nick anything while he's live on the camera? Variable says, amazing interval, very insightful. Mr. Leakey says, he's really fantastic. Hooray for Professor Vucio. Adam Freeze
Thank you,
says,
Mr. Leakey 666.
Adam Freeze says, the Zen will endure. Richie, hey Richie, says, this has been excellent. So excellent. So good to see your face, friend.
Thank you, Richie. It's
Pastenkapi, I don't know if I said his name correctly, but this was fun to watch, or their name. And Delta Quartz is here as well. So glad to hear more from the great Nick Vuci. Fred G.
Fred.
Says, don't worry, Nick, you're among the people on XA Discord who sound the most like a person already. Holy moly. Did you hear that, XA
Thanks,
people?
Fred.
You guys aren't people, but Nick is. Xeno Index says, nice. No, Nick, you're a person. You're all people. People are people. But no, you're a guy, man. Stephen Weigel
Thanks, man.
does
I
have
am a guy.
Stephen Weigel does have a question. He says, Nick, do you think 12 would ever be replaced by another tuning? Great to see you. Smiley face.
No, I don't. I mean, like, as far as a standard, no. I think that, well, ever is a long time. If we're talking like 10,000 years and humans are still doing our thing and all this stuff, possibly. But as far as like in modern, society, the global society that we have now, no, I don't think so. I think it's too baked in. It's too baked into like the factories and the organizations and the software and the musical education and musical language. It's just it took a long time to get to where 12 was where it was. There's a lot of things that led to that, and for those things to just be replaced by something, it seems very unlikely. Like, I just don't.
It'd be tough.
I'm not a fortune teller. It could happen, but I don't think so.
Right. Hey, we've done a lot of talking. Xeno Index says, I'm a real human.
Of course he is. He's not a robot at all. Not a bot at all.
Oh, Zen Prism asks, out of all the tunings you've encountered, what is the strangest one? Strangest tuning.
Strangest one. The strangest one. Um, it's hard to say. I really like 37 because of how it misses the three and is so good with everything else. I think that's really cool. Uh, and in that way, it could be strange because you have a really strong focus on groups of JI primes that don't have three in them. 11 is pretty cool because it's so close to 12, but it touches a very different JI group, right? It touches that 711 kind of group there, the 2711.
37 is good.
37 is really good. I would say for Strange is not in tuning, right? Strange is in what you do with it. I think you can have
Interesting point, yeah.
like of course there's some where you could do more things that are less strange than
Yeah.
others. Like there's more diatonic 5-limit stuff. But
Right.
even in tunings that have very good diatonic 5-limit stuff, like
Yeah.
31.
There's a lot of
right?
weird music in 12. I mean,
There's a lot of weird music in 12.
that's
yeah.
not
Like
that's,
19
it's
is
not all that,
pretty
not
a
all it
standard
takes,
one,
yeah.
but you can do like a semaphore, which is pretty weird. It's a pretty weird sound.
What'd you say, semaphore?
Yeah, like where you have
Yeah,
a fourth and a fifth, and then you divide each one in half. Like the fourths you divide in half.
Mhm.
Like a 19
Semaphore.
and 24. Yeah,
Semi-fourth. Semaphore.
yeah, that's right.
Half of a
Um,
fourth.
So I mean, there's as for tuning, it's not so much tuning as it's like the what you're doing with the scale and the harmonic structure, right?
Mhm.
And weird is relative because someone might find something really weird that someone else doesn't. Like if you have really like strong ear training, and you really can like do 12 equal ear training, right? And you can like tell this is a, first inversion, minor seventh chord, and this is this all that stuff, right? When you hear some Zen stuff that's 5-limit but just a little off, it'll really tweak your hearing. But if you don't have that fine of ear training, it won't.
Mm.
So what makes it weird is really who you're showing is your audience and you. Same with anything, right? The tuning's just a tool. The music and the affect of the music is a conversation between you and who's listening. Yeah.
Right. So there's more to weirdness than just tuning. But there are weirder tunings, and 37 is a good weird tuning. And
I'd say
there's
37 is like the first thing that came to mind. Yeah.
yeah, and then there's scales that are weird, like semaphore, that are
there's
good.
scales that are weirder for sure. Yeah.
Paleax says no 23 mention. I'm gonna freak out. Can you calm him down?
You know what? I said 11, and 11 is to 12 as 23 is to 22, basically. So I'll just say I spiritually talked about 23.
That is a reach.
No, no, I mean 23 is cool, but I wouldn't say it's like it is a weird tuning. It's in the weird category, sure. Yeah, for sure it is.
Dua Cesarte says, excuse my question. For tuning, we're referring in how much tones we divide the octave right. Sorry, I'm very new into this.
Yeah, when we're saying equal division or EDO which EDO stands for equally divided octave. So it's yes. How many notes we're dividing the octave into? Yes.
Yeah, but for clarification, Dua, we're talking about any like non-12 tuning. It doesn't have to be an equal division of the octave. But yeah, just weird tuning, so you could do JI or whatever, but yeah, we're mostly talking about equal divisions of the octave and just intonation. Okay, well, hey, how's everyone feeling now? Are we good? Was this a satisfying first interview? I think you knocked it out, Nick. I think whoever is going to follow you is probably shivering in fear right now because you've really set the bar
I mean,
quite high.
I heard you have the next
Um,
person already. I'm really interested.
I
Who's
have.
gonna
You
be?
want to know while you're still here? Should I announce now? Do we have more questions? I have one question, Nick, before I reveal our next interview. Before I reveal our next interview, this question, and I really want you to think long and hard about this. User Random Alphabet asks, and take this seriously, please. What
All right.
does he think, he meaning you,
Oh my god.
of, sorry, 343 EDO?
You know what? When I think about all those things is the same. I think it's very meme worthy. It is a meme, and I think even if that attracts attention for different reasons, it's still not. It has its place, right? Like a lot of people do music where it's like it's in a hundreds and this, but then they have like a 7-note scale or 8-note scale in it, right? And I think that it's not. It's good. It's good clickbait, right? It's good clickbait. So that's what I think about it.
I know the answer to this, but for the ignorant audience, can you tell them how many times you've watched the 343 Edo contest episode of my live stream?
I haven't watched it. I don't really watch a lot of stuff. You know, like I might see more active than I am. I really do a lot of stuff just by myself.
Have you ever seen my stream? Did you even
I have seen your stream. I have seen your stream.
Just
Yeah,
kidding.
I have. I'm sad that there's no clock.
There's no clock.
I'm sad there's no magic clock ear training right now.
No, that's after you leave. That's when the party starts. Going straight into ear training after this. We're laughing, but I'm being completely serious.
Oh no, I believe you. Actually, to be honest, I just gotta say, I have watched your stream, and don't take this the wrong way, but it's really funny when you get frustrated at the ear trainer. It's like it always makes me smile when you're like, "Fuck this thing."
That's not
Yeah.
funny. I'm suffering, man.
That's why it's funny though.
It's like the pure distillation of the total shit of life.
Well,
All manifests
you
on that fucking ear trainer, man. I don't know what the.
a lot of people back when I first made my ear trainer, and a lot of people were they really wanted a leaderboard like with that one,
Yeah.
right? And I refused to do it
Mm.
for that kind of reason. I think it's like fun to have some competition or whatever, but it's besides the point, you know. Oh, I have the most perfect pitch. I can have the best score on the ear trainer. Like, who cares? You know, like who cares?
Mm.
So, and also the thing is, like, mine's entirely client side, so it's actually running like on your machine. You can actually like take the HTML file and run it on your machine without the internet, right?
I like your ear
That
trainer.
one you need to be connected to his server. You need to get
Yeah.
stuff from his server to use it. So
Oh, you're saying you don't even need internet access as long as you have the
yes, if
website
you just
up.
run the HTML file on your browser without internet access,
Oh,
or
wow.
the HTML like the package, you can do my ear trainer without internet access. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah. But anyways, I haven't looked at it in a while to be honest. So I probably shouldn't talk much about it because I probably should go back and you know, improve it. But it'll never match the clock. It'll never match the clock. And I hope you have a good time with the clock tonight.
Clock
I hope
has a
it gives you
unique
everything you
charm.
want and need.
It gives me nothing. Thank you.
So who's next? Who's the next interview?
Oh yeah, I forgot. We're doing another one. In 2 weeks. What day would that be? 2 weeks from today, I believe. Hold on, let me double check. Sorry. On. Wait for it. Wait, where is it? On January 31st, which I believe is 2 weeks from today, at 10 p.m., same time, I will be talking with, or we will be talking with, Delta Quartz. Delta Quartz, everybody.
Oh,
Who is
that's a great
who's
second one. I'm excited for
in the
that.
chat right now, I think.
Yeah, if you guys haven't heard the music this guy's putting out, it's fantastic.
Yes.
I really, the very first time he posted on the Discord, I was like, this is of a different quality than we're used to. It's much higher quality. It's much more musical than you usually see. And it's, I'm excited for that one. Yeah.
Yes, I felt the same way. I was very impressed. All right.
All right.
Well,
Take
shit,
care,
man.
guys. Nice to chat.
Nice talking to you. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, no, thank you, Gordon. I appreciate it. Thanks to everyone who came and listened. Sorry, Domin, you're asleep right now. I'm sure you'll watch it later.
Domin, not Domin. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, or Domin, whatever. He basically was like, "Oh, the thing that sucks is that it's going to be on when I'm asleep." I was like, "Oh, well."
He should have woken up,
Sorry,
man.
No, sleeping is more important than listening to me talk about microtones. That is true.
I don't know about that.
And
All right.
you know, so I think thanks a lot. Nice to hear from you guys and be able to talk at you guys. I guess I'm not used to this.
Hell yeah.
But, yeah, I'll see you guys online. Hit me up anytime you want. Any questions or anything, I'm always available. I'm always happy to talk about sound with anyone.
Go talk to Nick Vuci, everybody. And yeah, Nick, you're welcome back anytime. Well, not
Thanks,
anytime,
Lord, I
but
appreciate it.
pretty much anytime. All right. I mean, you got to ask. But
Take care. Take
All
care,
right.
guys.
Have a good one, dude. Okay. Nick Vuci, everybody. How was that? How'd you guys like that? That's great, right? Nick Vuci. All right. How do I get back to regular? All right, that's the interview. So if you guys are here for that, we're done.